Why do we sing? Why do you sing? Why do you want to sing? Well, there's lots of reasons, good reasons, important reasons. Let's talk about that today. By the end of this video, I think we'll be a lot clearer what singing actually means to us. So let's get going. Well, let's just start off with this one recognition that most of us think, and I think it's a big mistake, that the reason we sing is in order to perform, to get on stage with, to sing for other people. Let's say to fulfill an artistic, aesthetic goal, whether it's more of an artistic kind of performance or whether it's entertainment. It's something that we do as a performance, to perform with, to show with, to evoke an aesthetic experience for people. And because most of us know that our voice is not quite good enough, not quite trained enough, maybe, to do that kind of performance, to meet that standard, that level of singing quality, we just stop. We don't sing. It's too much for us. We can't fulfill that goal, and we don't want anyone to know that anyway, so we don't even start. Okay. Once again, kind of a tragedy. And why is it a tragedy? Well, because there are really powerful personal reasons to sing that have nothing to do with the performance. And I'd like to talk about them today. And I've reduced it to three big, basic reasons why we sing. So let's think about that now. What's the first reason? First reason, as a way of coming in contact with myself, as a way of diving deep into my inner world, the world of my feelings, my more soulful qualities, sometimes deep into my unconscious. When we start to sing, there's something that happens that automatically we start to get connected back up with us. It's like a meditation. It has a strong quality, a meditative quality. When we just start to sing, it somehow brings us back into some inner world, a center place in ourselves, an anchored place within ourselves. And you can see it, like when we start singing, sometimes look at the eyes, you start to sing, la la, oh my, oh my, oh, and you can just feel it, you can see it, you can hear it. Who's ever doing that, they're just already kind of hooking up back with some deep interpersonal space in themselves. So that's the very first reason to sing, is to touch your own heart, is to be in contact with your own self. We're often so involved with our thoughts, our feelings, the roles that we play in life, our responsibilities, our commitments, our ideas, things that we must do, things that we should do, and so all this kinds of nonsense, basically. And, or a lot of it at least is nonsense. And there's also all kinds of roles that we play, all kinds of masks that we wear with this person, with this conversation, with this situation. And suddenly when we start singing, and we don't have to be in front of a lot of people, we don't have to be in front of anybody, we can be just alone with ourselves, and wow, what happens? Something in me starts to hook up, connect up with something in me. And I'm not then displaced outside of myself and all of these, the circumstances and the characteristics of my identity. I feel connected with my identity directly, with some essential part of myself is suddenly there, and I'm there with it. And that feels so good. It feels so grounded. It feels so connected. So that's the very first reason. And that's enough reason. My God, what a gift. Like some people sit around, and I'm one of them, by the way, It sits around every day, and I have a morning meditation every day. I've been doing this for decades, and it's a very, very big help for me. Yeah. But sometimes, and if you've ever tried, a meditative practice, you'll know this, that, it sometimes takes a long time for it to be, sort of a natural kind of thing. You really kind of have to practice it for it to work for you. But if you do practice this, it does work. But there's often an investment of time, and not just a few days, not just a few weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years. And let's compare that with just starting to sing. Just close your eyes, start to sing. You don't have to have a song. You don't have to have all 5 verses as usual. You don't need to play the guitar. Just start, making notes. Just start. Don't think about the quality. Don't worry about if it's scratchy. Don't worry about if it's clear. Don't worry about if you can't hit the high notes. Just start anywhere where it's sort of, okay, and where it's kind of comfortable, and just start singing. And you'll notice that you come into a condition in yourself that is the same place that you would come if you had learned to meditate for some years. It's a hack. It's a trick. And it works. And it really helps me to center in myself. So let's not underestimate just how powerful that is. Just you singing for you. Okay? You singing for you. Wow. What a gift you are. What a gift you give yourself when you sing. Okay, second reason. Well, it's not a one-way street, is it? Singing helps us to go deep inside of our inner world. That's a wonderful thing. But listen, it doesn't just stop there. It goes in both directions. It also helps us to touch not only what's inside, but to actually bring it back out again. There's this great expressive quality of singing. It helps us to express the feelings, the qualities, the moods, the colors of my inner world, of my inner life. Most of our inner life is very unarticulated. Even in language, it's sometimes very, very hard to express what's going on in here. And we don't necessarily have the language for it. We don't even know it ourselves. We kind of sense it. We feel something. We kind of have a sense of something. Well, when we start singing, we suddenly realize we didn't actually ever need the words for it. We just needed the activity of whatever that is inside, of giving it an expression, getting it into a flow, and getting it back out into the world through my voice. Okay? That the sounds that I make are not neutral in any sense. The sounds that I make, they're not really objective, and they don't need to even to be analyzed. They just come from a very, very personal, yes, very subjective experience, and that's absolutely legitimate. It's very, very important because it's your experience. It's your feelings. And as we just allow them to move through our voice, they move into this wonderful thing they come into this flow of expression. It's a very dynamic relationship. It helps the consciousness to go deep inside of itself, and then to come back out again and share that in my environment is so incredibly helpful. For some people, it's very healing. In fact, I wouldn't say that it is healing, or as just. But I would say that it is sometimes a very, very important aspect in healing processes. Sometimes in therapeutic processes, is to get whatever's inside moving, and in a sort of a dynamic flow. And the best place for it to go is through the voice. Why? Because the voice is our main organ of expression as human beings. with our body. What's the main organ of expression for our body? Well, it's the voice. And so as we get energy moving through our voice, the energy that is connected with my feelings, then it's not stuck anymore. It's not silent anymore. It's not muted. It's not inhibited. It's not censored. It's not, it's too much anymore. It has a chance to live, has a chance to be, has a chance to start moving. We know in trauma work, for example, that trauma, one way to discuss trauma, there's different ways, but one way to discuss trauma is something that shocked us and got stuck, and we weren't able to react. We weren't able to be spontaneous, be in the moment, and react in a way that was that corresponded to what was going on. And so very often in trauma, one way to talk about it is it just kind of sticks there and gets stuck there for years. And every time that thing is touched, there's no response possible because it's still stuck there. It's in like this endless loop in the brain. And so when we start getting these sounds out of us, it's just a beautiful way, and it's an easy way to get these feelings back moving again. They're not stuck anymore. They're moving again. And they start to get into that free flow, and then we can be spontaneous again, and then we can be empowered again. We are empowered, until there's that stuck place. And then we go into this unconscious place where we can't act, we can't move. But if we just, through our singing sounds, if we touch that place and allow it to go through our voices, it really helps us to get unstuck and get those places that were paralyzed and shut off before and constricted. It opens them up and gets them moving again. It's life. It's in the truest sense of the word, it's aliveness. Aliveness through my sound, through my voice. So that's two powerful things. It helps me to get in touch with my inner world, and it helps me to get my inner world moving again and in a wonderful flow again. Powerful, powerful reasons to use singing to get back into my life. Okay, let's go to the last one, the third one. And this is the one that's, for most people, not so easy to understand and may even be the most powerful. And that is with my sound, with my sung sound, I have a chance to share my inner world with others. Okay. Now, this is a place where performance basically has nothing here. This has nothing to do with performing. And most people, because we've been trained to think that singing is a performance and that's the only reason to do it, that we kind of missed the boat on this one. How about this? And we're going to talk about this. We have a separate video just about this issue. We sing not to show, when we perform, we want to show something. It's part of what a performance is. But when we do this third step, it's much, much more intimate. We're not interested in showing. We want to take what's in a world, express it, and share it with others. Now this is scary. You thought performing was hard. But if we can find, let's say, a tradition like in therapy, we talk a lot about, a safe place, a place where things can be said and shared and exchanged without judgment. Okay, that's what traditional safe place. And if we can be in a safe place, maybe it's a therapeutic session, maybe it's in a circle of people that understand that they're in the same boat that we are, that when they sing, they notice just how vulnerable they feel, how unprotected they feel. And so when they're all coming together, there's often a tremendous sense of empathy and respect for this sometimes very difficult step of just sharing my inner truth with people. It takes great vulnerability and it takes great courage. But if we can do that, it's amazing the depth of connection that we start to feel with each other again. It touches us so deeply. And there's that part of us that is absolutely separate from everybody else. We look at our bodies, my body is here, your body is there. Okay, well, then we're separate. But when we start singing, because consciousness, as we know, is not separate. The bodies are separate, but consciousness is not. And we live in a field of consciousness. We know that from science. And when we sing, it's amazing just how intimate that connection suddenly awakens in us. And we're not alone with our problems, with our issues. We're not alone with these inner feelings. We're sharing them, and we're realizing that the feelings that you have, I know that in me. And the feelings I have in me, you know that in you. And I can tell you, if we can find a circle of people that try this out, there's just an amazingly beautiful sense, not only of connection, but we're often deeply moved. And we really feel who that person is and what that person has gone through and all the things that that person has had to overcome in order just to be here, in order to make that sound. Almost a heroic amount of courage just to stay here in this body, in this life. And when we have a chance to share our sounds with other people, sounds that come out of our inner world, not to show, to share, then that sense of deep empathy, of connection, of deep connection is sometimes just overwhelming and I'm going to say it, overwhelmingly beautiful. To be able to see people how they really are and not how they feel they need to present themselves. So, how about that? A way to connect with ourselves, a way to express our inner feelings, and a way to share our truth with other people, to listen, to learn to listen to the truth and to feel the truth of other people, as well as to express and share our own. What a beautiful gift to be together on this level of intimacy and to recognize, hey, we're feeling the same things. We're going through the same process. And the beauty of that soulful expression is everywhere, all around us. It's in every one of us. These are great reasons to sing. Try it.